little long.
I like a long one.
I do like a long one.
Tell me
But
about your long story.
I will tell you about my long story, and then we'll get into other long stories. Um, I just want to preface this with once again, this is one of those disturbing stories that involves sexual assault and murder. So, if you are sensitive to that, perhaps you should move along. Blake, I know you're fine with it. I'm kidding.
I'm here
you
for it.
you're here to listen to it and to understand what happened and form your opinion of the story.
Yes, that's
Yeah.
my approach.
Yes, there you go. So I'll go ahead and begin. On March 24th of 1999, an envelope arrived at the FBI offices in Modesto, California. Inside the envelope was a hand-drawn map. It showed a remote area near Don Pedro Reservoir. One location was marked, and along with the map was a short message, quote, "We had fun with this one." Investigators did not know who had sent it. So this is an anonymous letter that comes in with just a map and says, "We had fun with this one." So they followed the map. And what they found was the body of 15-year-old Juli Sund, who had been missing for more than a month. Her mother, 42-year-old Carole Sund, was already dead. So was 16-year-old Silvina Pelosso, an Argentine exchange student and close family friend. Their bodies had already been found 6 days earlier inside of a burned out car. The three women had traveled to Yosemite for what should have been an ordinary vacation. Instead, they became victims of one of California's most disturbing murder cases, but they weren't the only ones.
Alcohol, syphilis, murder, forbidden. This I don't know this one for sure.
Oh, I'm so glad that you don't know this one. I actually remembered it from when it happened, and whenever we discussed doing this series, this was the first thing that came to mind for me.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm just realizing I'm not prepared to intro us. And I wasn't even ready to get there yet. I was going to talk to you a little bit first. But then
Okay.
I'm just realizing,
Shall I introduce it?
no, it's my job. I need to get back into the rhythm, Amanda.
The rhythm is going to get you.
In fact, it already has. Well, let me just say to everyone, welcome to Forbidden, the podcast where we discuss the dark, disgusting, and the disgraceful in our unmentionables with drink in hand. I am your co-host, Blake Roberts.
And I'm Amanda Kamada.
Tell me about what it is you are enjoying this evening and what you're wearing.
I am enjoying I like to make, I think I've said this before, I like to make coconut water and rum because it kind of reminds me of a healthy pina colada.
So healthy. Yes.
And I'm wearing a nice little bra and panty number set. And I can't remember the name of the company, but I will tell you next week. But they have really great lingerie for a very fair price.
Hmm.
So it's good stuff. And you?
Well, oh, I don't like this. I do not like this. This is my first sip of it.
Oh no. Should we pause and let you refill?
Yeah, it's open and it's wet. I'll drink it. It is
Does it taste as good as the stuff we used to have at TGI Fridays?
probably about on par.
Oh,
Actually, it's an Albarino, I believe, which I typically it's a little effervescent, like a little minerally, which I typically like.
hmm,
But there's something funky here. I don't know. Maybe
yes,
it'll grow on me, or maybe I'll just taste it less the more I drink it.
yes.
But I am wearing. Okay, so I'm actually not in underwear today, but I still feel a little slutty. I'm going to show you because I got these new little shorty shorts, and they're shorty shorts.
I love it.
I feel like Well, let me just show you. They're like little navy shorts, but they're tiny.
I love those. Those are great. And you have the body for it.
Thank you. I thought so. They're
Yeah.
little shorty shorts, and I've got like a little navy woven belt, and I've got my button up short sleeve shirt. I feel like a little slut in these.
You're like a little scout,
Yeah.
a slutty little scout.
Boy Scouting is the only sport I'm interested in, as you know.
Yes,
Yeah. So that's my jam today.
I love it. I love the change, and I really love those shorts.
Yeah. This is my first time wearing them. I wore them out to lunch today, and I felt okay about it.
Well, would you like to get to the most exciting portion of our episode, the sources?
In fact, I would, but let me intro this. Let me intro our little series first because I found it. I'm right on top of it. So, Amanda, summer camp is supposed to. Hang on, let me start that over again. My mouse was in the way of the thing.
Summer camp was.
Summer camp is supposed to mean cabins, campfires, ghost stories, and a few weeks away from home. Let's together, Amanda, explore what happens when those familiar places become the setting for something much stranger. True crime, disappearances, legends, and the stories that linger long after everyone has packed up and gone home. Now, Amanda, tell me about these sources.
Well, my sources today, I mean, really, any news organization covered this because what you'll find out in the story is that the crimes happened and there was a period of a little over a month before the bodies were found. So it was a missing persons case, three women, and, with a mother and two, her daughter and the family friend being, you know, going missing. It got a lot of national news coverage. But I used Wikipedia, myYosemitePark.com, CBS News, ABC News, and Reddit.
Okay.
So Carole Sund, that was the mom, lived in Northern California with her husband and children. Her daughter Julie was 15, and Silvina Pelosso was a 16-year-old exchange student from Argentina that had been staying with the family. So this exchange student was a really close family friend of the family. It wasn't just a random exchange student coming from Argentina. Carole Sund, the mom, had actually studied in Argentina and lived with this person's mother's family like back in the 70s. So they were sort of flipping it for their daughter
Yeah.
and having her stay with them for a few months.
The last name is Sund?
Sund,
Okay.
yes.
Sund.
Carole Sund, yes. So in February of 1999, Carole decided to take the girls on a trip through California. They lived in California, but just to, take a little road trip.
Mm-hmm.
They rented a red Pontiac Grand Prix and headed towards Yosemite. There they were tourists. They took photographs, visited the park, and eventually checked into Cedar Lodge in El Portal, just outside of Yosemite National Park. So this is like a little camping lodge. I'm envisioning something, from the 70s, 80s, sort of, vibe.
Yeah.
Um, and they stayed in room number 509. One of the employees working at Cedar Lodge was 37-year-old Cary Stayner. Stayner worked maintenance at the lodge. He knew the property had a legitimate reason and had legitimate reasons to approach people's guest rooms. What no one knew was that he had been developing increasingly disturbing sexual fantasies involving kidnapping, sexual assault, and murder. According to his later confession, he'd been thinking about acting on those fantasies for quite some time. On February 15th, so the women got to the Cedar Lodge on February 14th. On February 15th, he saw the red Pontiac outside of room 509. He looked inside and saw that there were three women, but there was no man with them.
Mm.
So it later came out that he had fantasies of doing this before, but the people that he had stalked in the past, he kind of reeled back himself in when they realized that there was a man there. So he was looking for vulnerable women. There was no man with them, like I said. He later said he considered them, quote, easy prey. And so he decided to act. He approached the room and told Carole there was a possible water leak and that he needed to inspect the bathroom. So he didn't have to force his way in to this. He basically went to other cabins before he even approached theirs and was saying, like, knock, 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 maintenance. So
Yeah.
you're at a hotel, that happens, and even though they didn't call maintenance, I think Carole had a little bit of a hesitation because he approached the room and told Carole there was a possible water leak and that he needed to inspect the bathroom. She initially refused.
So is this like a hotel or a motel? Like drive up and like park in front of your door situation?
Yeah, yeah,
Okay.
yeah. So she initially refused him to be let in, but eventually she opened up the door. He walked inside and went to the bathroom and pretended to inspect the plumbing in the bathroom. But when he came back out, he pulled out a gun. The three women were now prisoners in their own motel room. He restrained them with rope and duct tape. He moved Juli and Silvina into the bathroom, and then he immediately went out to the bed area and killed Carole, like, immediately. The mom
Carol is the mom. Okay.
is the mom. He strangled her with a rope, then wrapped her body in a sheet and put her in the trunk of the Pontiac. After he killed her, he then killed Savina next. And I couldn't confirm if she was sexually assaulted. I saw it written both ways. So she
Mhm.
was possibly sexually assaulted, but he did kill her almost immediately as well. And he placed her body beside Carole in the Pontiac. But Juli was still alive, and Stayner kept her alive for several more hours. He sexually assaulted her and moved her between motel rooms. Eventually, he decided to leave the lodge with her, and instead of killing her at the lodge, he took her with him. He wrapped her in a blanket, walked her outside, and put her in the Pontiac, and then drove away.
Oh
Keep
my
in mind, she's only 15 years old.
God. It's
I mean,
horrifying.
horrifying.
I wonder if she knew that they were in the trunk.
I know. I know. It says, according to his confession, he considered keeping her alive, but he knew he would eventually have to kill her. He drove down toward Don Pedro Reservoir. She was still alive and talking to him. Eventually, he took her away from the road. He told her that he loved her and then slit her throat.
Oh God.
Yeah. He then covered her body with branches and returned to the car. And then he started covering his tracks, right? Because he worked at the Cedar Lodge, but no one probably really kept much of an eye on him because he was doing maintenance work. So if he was walking into rooms and stuff like that, it probably wasn't like any big deal if you
Yeah.
saw him doing that.
Sort of a
Um,
background actor. Like you expect him to just be back there doing stuff.
exactly. So he started covering his tracks. He went back to the Cedar Lodge and cleaned out the motel room. He replaced the linens and attempted to remove evidence. He disposed of the rope, duct tape, and knife. He wiped down the Pontiac, and then he drove the car away and eventually set it on fire. But he deliberately planted misleading clues. He discarded Carole's, the mom's wallet in Modesto, California, and created the suggestion that another girl named Sarah might have been involved. So he's planting, evidence in different areas and then adding on to the story. So they think that, like, well, who's this Sarah person? He wanted investigators looking anywhere but at him. Meanwhile, the three women were reported missing, obviously. The FBI began investigating. They had investigated and examined Cedar Lodge and questioned employees. And on March,
You said FBI
mhm,
because this is a national park.
yes,
Okay.
yeah. I'm guessing that's why it would be the FBI was involved. Yeah,
Yeah,
I didn't
yeah.
even think about that. But yeah, so they went missing on February 15th, um, and so they were and by March 3rd, which seems like a long time, was the first time that they interviewed him himself,
Oh wow.
Stayner. He denied knowing anything about the women, and then he went back to work. The investigation continued without him as being the primary suspect. They tend to have focused on career criminals, that were sort of laced through the area,
Yeah,
and that sort of thing, or home like homeless or drug addicted people who, they were just like shooting bullets in the air pretty much. Like they had no idea what
yeah.
happened to these women because their bodies had not been found yet.
Oh, right,
Right.
right.
Because their bodies weren't found until mid-March.
Did they
And then,
look at the husband at all? Do you know?
um, I'm sure that they did. I didn't really go into that angle of the story, but I would assume that that
They-
always happens.
Yeah, they probably ruled him out quickly because he was working or whatever.
Yeah. Yeah. So March 3rd is when they interviewed him for the first time. He didn't seem remarkable, in any way, so they didn't pursue him further. And then on March 18th is when the burned Pontiac was discovered on a remote road. So
Mm.
this has been a whole month later. And inside the trunk were the two bodies of Carole Sund and Silvina Pelosso. Both had been badly burned, but investigators determined that they had been killed before the fire. Now there was one question: where was Julie? 6 days later, the FBI received the mysterious envelope, the map with the message, "We had fun with this one." The map had obviously been sent by the killer, and eventually investigators discovered that his fingerprint was on the stamp that belonged on that envelope, but it took them a while to figure that out. Months passed. The FBI pursued other suspects and other theories, and all the while he remained free. He had murdered 3 people. He knew where their bodies were, and he was watching investigators try to solve his crimes. Now this is where it gets interesting. So they find all of their bodies in March. All this time's going by. They have absolutely no idea who killed these women now. Then in July, another woman disappeared. Her name was Joie Armstrong. She was 26 years old and worked in Yosemite. On July 21st of 1999, she was murdered. Her body was found the following day. She had been decapitated. Yeah.
Whoa.
This murder was the one that finally put them on the investigators' radar because his vehicle had been seen at her cabin, like his personal
Mm.
vehicle. Investigators questioned him. Initially, they let him go, but they kept investigating, and eventually they found him again. And on July 24th, they sat down with him. At first, they questioned him about Joie Armstrong, and he confessed to the murder. And then he began talking about the women from Cedar Lodge.
Yeah.
He described the room, the whole water leak story, the gun, the restraints, Julie's death, the burned Pontiac, the planted evidence, everything. Like he just copped to it. Um, he basically was sitting right across from the investigators and telling them exactly what they had done, what he had done.
I wonder what drove him to just confess everything like that. You
I don't
know?
know. Yeah, because usually serial killers are not like that. And I would consider this to be serial because 4 women were killed. Yeah.
Yeah. I I mean, I know there are some personalities that enjoy like the fame of it. Like they want the credit for it, but it also seems, I don't know. Like why would I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah, weird.
It's
Weird
really weird.
guy.
But his story matched all the physical evidence. The confession was corroborated. The Yosemite murders were finally solved and very quickly. But, like, why? As you said, He wasn't primarily motivated by money or revenge. His motive centered around sexual fantasy, control, and violence.
Right.
Um, he told investigators that he had been consumed by it, and psychiatric experts later diagnosed him with severe, serious disorders, including pedophilia and sexual sadistic features. Ew.
Yeah, gross.
His defense obviously took that as an opportunity to declare that he was legally insane. Um,
No.
but a little bit about his family history. It was pretty extraordinary. His younger brother was named Steven Stayner, and he had been kidnapped when he was 7 years old and held captive for 7 years before escaping.
Oh, I know this one.
Yeah, and um, and it's his brother, and there was a movie about it called "I Know My First Name Is Steven."
Yes. Oh my God.
So Steven Stayner is this guy's brother. So
Oh,
they basically he became nationally known as a kidnapping survivor, right? And his attorneys though argued that his family's trauma combined with his own psychiatric problems had profoundly affected him. That's where they were coming from because of all of this shit that happened when he was a kid with his brother,
right.
because he always felt like he, was forgotten about and all this kind of stuff. Um, because the focus was such on his brother who was missing. But isn't that crazy?
Yeah. That's what. Okay, so I haven't seen that documentary,
Hmm.
but I remember seeing it pop up and like recommended to me, and I just haven't watched it.
Right.
So, yeah.
It's pretty wild. So his attorneys obviously use this as an opportunity to weave that childhood into his existing psychiatric, um,
Mm,
you know, uh, issues, and basically, we're trying to get him declared legally insane, but it didn't fly because prosecutors pointed to his actions with this whole thing. He had prepared to do it. He selected his victims. He created a false story, to get inside the motel room. He cleared the crime scene. He burned the car. He planted evidence. Like, he obviously planned this pretty heavily, or
yeah.
was very good about going on the fly. The argument said that whatever mental disorders he had, he understood what he was doing was wrong. He went to trial in 2002. The prosecution, presented his confession, physical evidence, and maps and fingerprint evidence from the motel and crime scenes, and evidence from the murder of Joie Armstrong. The defense presented psychiatric experts who argued that he was profoundly mentally ill, but the jury rejected the insanity defense. He
Mm,
was found legally sane and was convicted of murdering Carole Sund, Juli Sund, and Silvina Pelosso, and he was sentenced to death. He had already received life without parole for murdering Joie Armstrong. I'm surprised they didn't just group that all into one big trial, but I guess you have to have separate trials for separate offenses, and they were
yeah.
a couple months away from each other. Um, but it's just, and he's still on death row in California. It's just kind of chilling, the case itself. I mean, you just go somewhere like in the wilderness, you stay at a motel because you're trying to be safer than, going out camping, which I think is very unsafe. But they encountered, this person. They just happened to be at the wrong place at the wrong time, where this guy was looking to carry out a fantasy, and they were in his tracks. But yeah, I just think it's super sad because Carole Sund was only 42. Her daughter, Julie, was 15, and Silvina was 16. And the other gal was only like 21. It's just a super sad story.
26, right?
Oh, I'm sorry, 26. Yeah.
I I hate to say this, Amanda, because monsters are monsters, but I Google image searched this guy.
I know.
I know.
I know.
And
I was I know. I would have let him in.
I know. I would have too. I would be dead. I would be
I would
burnt
be
back
so
on
dead.
that.
Yeah.
I mean, the later photos of him,
Are
not
not
looking so.
good. I know, but I think that that's what resonated with me was I remember when this happened and I saw him for the first time and I was like, "Oh my god, that monster is hot."
He's kind of hot and is younger. The yellow jumpsuit photos.
Yeah.
I, yeah, that's unfortunate. I mean, it's all listen. It's never good. It doesn't
No.
matter how ugly or handsome you are. It's not a good thing. But I
Yeah,
just
so so that was what was eventually called, now they're referred to as the Yosemite murders
yeah
because they happen so closely within, and they do consider him to be a serial killer. Um, because I read, and I don't know if this is true or not, because it was more like on Reddit threads and stuff like that. But there was suggestions that he may have been responsible for other deaths that are unsolved, but is never really caught to him.
yeah
And it wouldn't be surprising. But
right
I knew when you looked up his photo, I knew you were going to say something about him being kind of hot when he was younger,
yes.
because I thought this exact same thing.
Um, so the reason why I asked about the if it happened on federal land because the FBI this crazy thing. I actually just saw this in the news today here at Havasu Falls in Arizona. There was a young, like maybe like 29 or something woman, a young mother. She was hiking Havasu Falls with a friend of hers from New York. They had come out here to do this trip, and she got separated from her friend. I don't know how or why.
Uh-uh.
And so she found a man down in the canyon. And so she asked him, she's like, "Is this the way to the whatever lodge?" And she said she knew instantly when he looked at her that she was in trouble. He assaulted her with a knife, and it was caught on a ring camera. Um,
Oh my God.
so someone came out of this home with a ring camera and, like stopped it. The guy ran off, and she survived. She's back in New York now, but she was attacked with a knife, and this man was detained by like federal authorities because it happened on
Oh,
federal land.
federal land.
So
Yeah.
that's what made me think of it when you were telling that story. I was like, oh, that's probably why the FBI was called in like that.
Yeah.
Um,
I
yeah.
gotta tell you, these places, I don't know. I mean, I know national parks are beautiful and all that good stuff, but I don't feel safe in those environments. I
Yeah.
am not, um, I mean, like, I've done the Grand Canyon, but I felt like
Mhm.
there were a lot of people around.
Lots of people. Yeah.
But I just, yeah, something like this. And Yosemite too, in like the middle of winter, because it was like February, right? I mean, it feels like it would be really cold
Hmm.
and not the time of year to visit. So maybe that's why he was able to do it too. Maybe there weren't as many people at the lodge.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's sort of like desolate, and especially
Off
for
season.
women to be alone, even if you're not alone, but you're with other women like that.
Hmm.
Well, girls.
Girls. I mean, yeah, it was a 42-year-old mom with her teenage daughter and
Yeah.
friend. I mean, oh, that is so terrifying. I
Yeah,
mean,
that's scary.
it just, oh my God, just awful, awful.
And I wonder if she knew what was the daughter's name?
Julie.
I wonder if Julie knew that her mother and her friend were dead, or if she just knew that they had been removed.
Yeah, right. I mean, for all she knew, like they could have been in another, he could have tied him up in another
Yeah.
room and taken her somewhere.
Yeah.
But the fact that he told her that he loved her before he slit her throat, that is so vile. And
Yeah,
you know that has to be true because he was the one that was, I mean, it was almost like he was bragging about this, you
yeah,
know? Like he was proud that he did it, which makes it like so much more sinister.
yeah. A monster.
Yeah, but a hot one.
I know. God, it's so annoying. Hot boys out there murdering people. It's not
Yeah,
cute.
yeah, not cute. Don't do it.
Yeah.
Come find us, but don't murder us. Just,
It's murder my. Never mind. I'm not gonna, you know, read
Yes.
into that. Oh my gosh. So, I'm still home alone. Josh flies back tomorrow
Hmm.
evening. And so I've been treating myself. I made myself a steak dinner
Yes.
and I started with a martini
I
and then I
saw that martini last night and that looked
Mhm.
very good. Was that a pickled okra on top of that?
Sure was. I ran out of olives and I said, you know what? I love okra and I'm gonna slap an okra onto this
It
martini.
looked amazing. Was it
It
a
was-
gin or a vodka martini?
Oh, I only do gin.
I thought so. I
Yeah.
thought that was right.
I
Yeah.
did yes, I had a gin martini and I put on a record while I was preparing my meal, like the steak was coming to room temperature. It had been seasoned. So I said, "Let me have my martini." And then I watched a scary movie. I've actually watched two scary movies this week, which feel appropriate for our series. And let me tell you about them now. I'll be quick.
Sleepaway Camp?
No, but that is a great recommendation, and maybe actually Josh likes that one, so maybe I'll wait for him.
I love that movie.
It's so campy,
It is campy.
and
Sleepaway Camp, kids. I got to tell you, kids, go find it. It's an 80s thriller horror movie. It is so good.
and the
Uh,
sequels.
and the sequels, yes.
I mean, they
Yes.
get less good, but I'll
Right.
just still entertaining.
I think they got less good because we got older as they were coming out.
Well, they also have Pamela Springsteen, Bruce's sister,
Right.
in the lead, and she did such a good job with that character.
Mm,
I mean, you're kind of rooting for her. And
right.
that's when that's a great horror movie. When you have when the character development is strong enough that you have a connection to the killer,
Right.
that's a good movie.
Yeah.
Doesn't have
Yeah.
to be a good movie, but it's a good movie.
Yeah. That movie is, I would definitely look into the series, especially because we have Halloween coming up like in a month.
It's right around the corner, maybe two, but it's right around the corner.
It
And
is
we are
right.
in Halloween season as far as I'm concerned.
Yes.
So
You're
I
one of
watched,
those.
yes. Last night I watched Horror in the High Desert, which is a found footage movie. So, like, a la Blair Witch Project. And it follows the disappearance of this young man who is in like Nevada or something. And he's like survivalist mentality. So he's like going out and doing his own thing. And he's filming it and posting clips of it. Um, anyway, he goes missing, but and it's sort of a slow burn. Like there's a buildup of story and of characters and background and stuff. So you have to like have that mindset going into it. But the ending is really creepy. I mean, it's like I watched it at home alone last night and a thunderstorm came through
Oh, wow.
in the second half of the movie. It was perfect. And so it made it really uncomfortable for me at the end of the night to like turn all the lights off, make sure the doors were locked,
Yes.
like looking over your shoulder sort of a thing. I love that stuff though. I like to be scared.
I don't like to be scared.
Well, you will when you watch Horror in the High Desert.
Horror in the High Desert.
So I watched that one last night, and then I think the night before, or a couple nights ago, I watched one called Willow Creek, I think, which is about Bigfoot.
Oh.
It's another found footage set in California, set around the scene of the what's it like Pattinson Gimlin, the the guys that filmed the OG Bigfoot clip. You know where
Oh,
that you know the one where you see him
I know the
walking.
one. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah, that one.
yeah.
Um, so it's set around there. It is maybe written and directed by Bobcat Goldthwait. Remember him
Okay.
from the
Yeah,
80s and 90s? The guy
yeah,
with the voice.
right.
Yeah, if you don't know, where are you from? Uh,
Look it up.
look it up. But yeah, so and sort of historically known for comedy, more comedic things. But so he did this movie, and it's pretty creepy too. I mean, it's another sort of found footage. It's this couple, a young couple that goes up into that part of California, and they camp out, and it's creepy. I love that kind of stuff.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
really creeps me out. But yeah, perfect. Double feature. Listen to this and then go watch one of those or watch Sleepaway Camp.
I love Sleepaway Camp. I
So good.
love that. Yeah, that's one of my favorites. I think whenever I was a kid, for sure.
Hmm.
Just 'cause it's dirty too.
It is, and that twist ending, which I won't
Well,
share,
we can't share because
but truly shocking.
it'll ruin the whole thing.
It will, but I mean, one of the best twist endings.
Oh, for sure. Especially when you're a kid and you're like, "What?"
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, that is quite shocking to
It
a
was
8-year-old or something.
a shocking visual.
Yes.
Yeah, yeah, for a
I feel
couple of reasons.
yeah. Oh, that's so good.
Yeah.
Oh man. So do you guys have plans for the weekend then?
No, he gets back at like 7:30 tomorrow night, and I don't. I have kept the house pretty clean, clear of new piles. So we're gonna have a discussion, he and I, about
Uh,
maintaining.
maintaining that, yes.
Yes, for my
Understood.
for my mental health, please.
Yes, understood.
Yeah. How about you? Do you have anything fun planned? Anything coming up?
I'm going over to Damien and Juan's place on Saturday. They just got a new apartment,
Nice.
and I'm gonna go out to the burbs and see that. Well, it's not really the burbs; it's just a neighborhood of Miami that I'm familiar with.
Yeah.
I'm technically in the burbs because I live in Miami Beach, and it's considered a suburb of Miami,
Really?
which is funny to me because it feels like not like a suburb.
To me, Miami Beach feels like its own thing.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It is.
Interesting.
Uh, yeah, it's kind of funny. So I'm gonna do that. Just have some cocktails over there, see their new place. You know, I'm I'm always interested to go and see people's homes because I'd like to see what their decorative taste is like.
Go through their underwear drawers, etc.
Yeah.
Pill cabinet.
I was about to say pill cabinet. Maybe take a few of those if a need be.
Maybe take a few jock straps if need be.
Yes, yes.
Where you
So
and I were on different but similar wavelengths.
yes, I'm going for the pills. You're going for the other.
Yes. I'm going for the pouch.
The pills in the pouch. We could just go over to someone's house and clean them out.
Yeah. Well,
Should you let listeners know where they can continue to hear these wonderful stories? Maybe
yeah.
see our wonderful faces. Where can they do all this?
Well, if you're clever, you can keep on listening or watching exactly where you are right now at the time of this audio that you're hearing in your ears, or that you're seeing in your face on YouTube, Apple, or Spotify. You can also follow along on social media where we don't frequently post on Facebook and even less or so on Instagram. You can dig into the archives, see some fun underwear photos on theforbiddenpod.com. And as always, send us your nudes to hello@theforbiddenpod.com. If you have recommendations, let us know. Um, if you're still listening at this roughly 40-minute mark, then clearly you're here for a reason. Hit like, subscribe, follow, share with your friends, rate, review, all of the things. Just let
Yes,
us know that you are still here with us.
yes, please. And that you're enjoying your time with us,
Yeah.
hopefully.
You're
Well,
enjoying these dark, disturbing stories with us.
yes, yes. Well, Blake, I'm sorry to have put a damper on the evening with my dark and disgusting story, but
It was damp already from all the wine, so you're
all
good.
right. Well, thank you for listening.
And thank you for telling.
And listeners, we thank
Thank you.
you.
Oh, shit.